When you hold a small coin in your hand, it often feels like just another piece of change, something you might toss into a jar and forget about. But every coin has a story, and today we're going to explore the fascinating history and hidden value of the 1 cent Canada 1999 coin. At first glance, this tiny penny doesn't seem very special. It's copper-colored, light in weight, and once circulated in the millions. But if you take a closer look, you'll realize that this coin represents more than just 1 cent. It represents a part of Canadian history, the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, and a turning point in the world of Canadian coinage. By the end of this video, you'll understand why even the smallest coin can carry big meaning. The Canadian penny, officially known as the 1 cent coin, has been around since 1858, and for more than a century, it was part of everyday Canadian life. People used it to buy candies, newspapers, and small goods, and the clinking sound of pennies in pockets was part of daily commerce. By 1999, the penny had already started to lose its buying power, but it was still everywhere. Kids collected them in piggy banks, shops handed them out as change, and people tossed them into fountains while making wishes. The 1999 penny, in particular, is interesting because it belongs to the final chapter of Canadian pennies before they were discontinued in 2012. That makes this little coin more than just loose change. It's a piece of history from the last decade of the Canadian penny's existence. Let's talk about the design, because this is where the coin becomes instantly recognizable. On the obverse side, or the front, we see the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. This portrait was designed by Dora de Pettery Hunt, a Canadian sculptor, and it was used on Canadian coins from 1990 until 2003. In this portrait, the Queen faces right, wearing a simple crown, and around her image are the words Elizabeth II DG Regina. For those wondering, that Latin phrase means Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. It's a small but powerful reminder of Canada's ties to the monarchy and the history that shaped the nation. On the reverse side, we find the design that most people remember with fondness, the maple leaf twig, with 2 leaves sprouting proudly. This design was created in 1937 by G. Kruger Gray, and it has become a timeless symbol of Canada. The maple leaf isn't just a random decoration. It's one of Canada's national symbols, representing strength, unity, and pride. The reverse also features the word Canada, the denomination 1 cent, and of course, the year 1999. It's simple, yet iconic. If you've ever traveled abroad and pulled out a Canadian penny, the maple leaf gave it away instantly. It's that recognizable in terms of specifications. The 1999 penny is small, but carefully designed. It weighs 2.25 grams, has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.45 millimeters. The edge is plain, meaning it doesn't have ridges like quarters or dimes. What's really fascinating is its composition. Earlier pennies were made of bronze, but by the late 1990s, the Royal Canadian Mint switched to a cheaper method. The 1999 penny is made of steel, with a thin layer of copper plating and a touch of nickel. This change was done to cut costs, but it also gives the 1999 penny a unique trait. It's slightly magnetic. Yes, unlike older pennies, you can actually test it with a magnet, which makes it stand out in the world of coin collecting. Now let's put this coin in its historical context. The year 1999 wasn't just the end of a century. It was the last year before the world entered the new millennium. Canada, like many other countries, was looking forward to the year 2000 with excitement and hope. The Royal Canadian Mint even released special Millennium coins to celebrate the occasion, but the regular penny remained unchanged, holding on to its classic maple leaf design. For collectors, this makes the 1999 penny significant because it sits at the border between 2 centuries. It's both modern and nostalgic, a bridge between the past and the future. Of course, not all 1999 pennies are exactly the same. There are varieties and errors that make some of them more valuable. For example, if a coin was struck off center, or if the dies used to make the coin were worn out and caused cracks in the design. Those errors turn an ordinary penny into a collector's item. Sometimes you can even find double die errors, where the letters or numbers appear doubled. And in rare cases, plating errors reveal the steel underneath the copper. If you're lucky enough to find one of these error coins, its value can jump dramatically. Collectors love imperfections because they're rare and tell a unique story about the minting process. What is the value of a 1999 Canadian penny today? Well, most of them are still worth only their face value, 1 cent. But that doesn't mean they're worthless. For collectors who want a piece of Canadian history, even a regular 1999 penny in good condition might sell for around 10 cents to $1. If the coin is in uncirculated condition, meaning it looks as perfect as the day it was minted, it could be worth several dollars. And if you have one graded by a professional service and it receives a high mint state rating, you could be looking at values anywhere between $5 and $20. And remember, error coins can sometimes reach values of $50, $100, or even more, depending on rarity. Beyond its monetary value, the 1999 penny has some really fun and fascinating facts. Did you know the maple leaf design has stayed almost unchanged since 1937? Or that by 2012, it actually cost 1.6 cents to make a single 1 cent coin, which is why Canada stopped producing them. Many Canadians still keep jars full of pennies at home, and the 1999 edition is often hiding in those collections. Another cool fact is that these steel-based pennies can stick to magnets, which surprises people who are only familiar with the older bronze versions. And let's not forget the sentimental side. Many people collect coins from their birth year, so for anyone born in 1999, this penny has personal value beyond its price tag. Now, why should anyone collect this coin if it's so common? The answer lies in its symbolism. The 1999 penny represents the end of the 20th century, the transition from bronze to steel, and the continuation of a design that Canadians had grown to love for decades. It's a coin that bridges generations. For collectors, historians, and everyday people, holding on to one of these pennies is like holding on to a memory of the past. It may not make you rich, but it will certainly connect you to a story much bigger than a single cent. The next time you come across a 1999 Canadian penny, don't just dismiss it as worthless change. Take a closer look. Inspect the design, feel its weight, test its magnetism, and appreciate its place in Canadian history. You never know, you might be holding a rare error coin, or simply a small piece of nostalgia that brings back memories of a different time. Either way, it's worth keeping, because even the smallest coin can carry a treasure of meaning. And that's the story of the 1 cent Canada 1999 coin, a tiny but mighty piece of history. Tell me in the comments, do you still have any Canadian pennies at home? Maybe even a 1999 edition? If you enjoyed this journey into the world of coins, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing coin stories. Because sometimes, the smallest objects have the biggest stories to tell.